Hey everyone, it's me Curtis. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back if you're a returning subscriber. I am coming back today after probably almost a month, or a little over a month maybe at this point, with a few updates for you guys in the hope of getting back into the swing of things. Now, I don't want to say a tremendous amount of things have happened since I have been gone, but I do feel like, I've been keeping really good and up to date with all of my animals, and so I just wanted to share a few significant things that did happen over the time that I was off of my channel. One of the first updates, just so I can kind of talk about the chickens, is that back in March, as you guys know, my chickens, the black Australorps and the Red Cross chickens, they did turn 1 year old, and a lot of you guys ask about the chickens, especially because on Instagram I have been keeping really active with them and posting on my stories like when they're foraging and things, because they really do love foraging now that the weather is warm and the grass and like plants that are in like the woodsy part of my yard have grown in. They really love foraging and pecking for like those fresh worms and things. This is actually the second time I'm filming this video. Today it is actually Memorial Day, the 3-day weekend. It is the Monday, the day before I have to go back to school, unfortunately. But the first time I talked or filmed this video, I talked way too much about the praying mantises, so I'm just going to try and be brief and say that unfortunately a lot of you guys are asking me about it, but that's not the unfortunate part. The unfortunate part is that they did all pass away, sadly, and this is because one praying mantis Utica, or egg case, whatever you want to call it, can hatch like 100, I believe, or somewhere around there, praying mantises, and I barely hatched like 20, 25, I can't even remember how many. So the fact that I hatched just a small amount made sense to me, that the amount that survived, which is 0, was the amount that it was, because usually when an animal can produce a lot of offspring at one time, only a small percentage of those offspring are going to survive, which is what I experienced. I kind of expected this, although some of the mantises were doing better than the others. I did think some of them would have survived, but unfortunately when it came down to it, none of them actually did. As far as my hedgehog Leo, he's doing really well as well in his new bin cage that I kind of talked about and showed you guys a tour of, which you can check the video out right here. He's loving his new wheel. It's actually like a bucket style wheel, and I didn't think it was gonna like fit him well, but it's actually fitting him perfectly. He runs on it with no problem, and that's all I'm gonna say about him. And I'm not gonna cover each and every one of my animals because I don't want to take too long, because I know I'll just go off on each and every one of them. But as far as my toads, they are actually doing really well as well. I feel like I'm saying as well a lot, but I'm sorry about that. I actually filmed a cage tour for them that I wanted to post on my channel before I took this break, which was about a month ago, and I actually didn't end up editing it and posting it, but I got some really nice clips of it, and I love the way the tank turned out, so I'll just insert some of those clips right now. So as you guys just saw, that is what their tank looks like. Now, the main things that I want to talk about are actually things that happened just yesterday on Sunday. So I'm going to try and keep this in as good of an order as I can, because when I filmed this the first time I was all over the place. But long story short, it's the end of May, it's about to become June. The weather, as I mentioned, is getting warmer, and the fan in the open window is not really doing the trick anymore. So at this time of year, I put my AC in my window, but in front of my window I'll try and like include a picture or something here on screen of what it looks like. But I have like a huge reptile rack with like detox and cages and water and tanks and everything on it, and then I also have this like little white shelf that I built in a vlog a while ago that has my other detox on it, a fish tank and a bird cage and another shelf, and all that stuff kind of blocks my window, so it makes it hard for me to actually put my AC inside of my window. Usually I'm pretty good with just getting some help taking the detox off the shelf, pulling the shelf out, and moving the fish tank a little bit forward. I say that as it sounds easy, but it's actually pretty hard because everything is so heavy and just difficult and fit into place so well. But anyway, I took everything out, and then I ended up putting my AC in. But since I was going to be moving all these detox and doing all of this work anyway, the whole point of me saying all that is that I knew Athena and Hercules can see each other, because I'll try and insert another picture here of how their tanks are, but they're both in the detox and they can see each other. My dad just interrupted me, so I kind of forgot where I left off. But nonetheless, all I was saying was that Hercules and Athena, the way that their detox were positioned, they were able to see each other, and they have mated before, with trying not to get into that whole thing. They had eggs. I was interrupted again. But as I was saying, they bred before, so Athena was kind of used to laying eggs at this point. And bearded dragons, one thing about them is that females will lay infertile eggs even if they are not actively breeding, which makes sense that the eggs would be infertile. And that's not necessarily a very healthy behavior of female bearded dragons to do, which is one of the biggest regrets I have of originally breeding my bearded dragons in the first place. But that was years ago, and I can literally make a whole video, which I really plan on making in the future, trying to deter people and give them great reasons as to why they should not breed their bearded dragons. But long story short, Hercules would bob his head and show like that breeding behavior of a male with the black beard, bobbing his head aggressively obviously, and Athena sometimes will submit to that, and she would, you know, do the arm wave thing and like slowly bob her head and be submissive to Hercules because it's either breeding season or just because, you know, the hormones are in the air and kind of, you know, that whole breeding idea or whatever is going on. That was a really poor way to explain it, but I think you guys know what I mean. And so anyway, I noticed that after this whole like ritual would happen with Hercules and Athena going back and forth with one another, Athena will get into like this cranky mood where she wouldn't want to be picked up. She would like shake to try and get out of my hands. Then she would like lay out of the basking area in her cage. She would just lay on the other side. She would become really dormant, if that makes sense almost. And this is because, you know, she's preparing her body to hold eggs. And I hate when she does this because obviously they're infertile eggs, so they're like pretty much a waste of her body's nutrients anyway because they're not going to turn into dragons regardless. In one way or another, this is usually induced by Hercules, and that is why the whole point of me telling you all of that is that I thought, or I think, that by moving them where they can't see each other, she will lay less infertile clutches of eggs. But long story short, Athena was moved out of the IKEA D-top and into the original 50-gallon custom enclosure that I built a couple years back, made originally for bearded dragons. Now obviously, if Athena is now in the custom 50-gallon tank that I built, that means that Alfie, which is my hamster, which I just did a cage tour for, which you can check out up here, he obviously had to move himself into the D-top. Now funny enough, D-tops actually pretty much originally started out being used for pets for hamsters and other rodents, and so I think it's kind of funny that I finally came full circle and ended up with my hamster in the D-top, but that's perfect for him. I'm gonna make a whole video in the future, hopefully, on my opinions about the D-top for hamsters, because even though he has only been in it for literally less than a day, I already have some things that I wish I could change about it that I just can't because of the way that the D-top is built. Nonetheless, I don't think I'm gonna go too much more into detail in this video about how the dragons are reacting now that they can't see each other. But Athena is acting way healthier. She's basking full out, and I should mention, I think this is important to say, she laid her last clutch of infertile eggs about 2 or 3 weeks ago, and so she's been like, you know, rejuvenated kind of eggs, you can say, for a while now. But she's actually healthy. She's not like worried seeing Hercules. She's pretty much unbothered is what I'm trying to say. I hope I don't sound like I'm repeating myself too much, but that's like the whole idea. And if you guys would like to see a cage tour of what the 50-gallon bearded dragon cage looks like now, let me know down below in the comments because I'd happily do that for you guys. Alfie is enjoying his D-top. I didn't really get to see him in it really that much late last night because I was with my family because we had a cookout, but all is good. I guess the only last thing that I really want to touch on in this video is my shop. As many of you guys know, I run a pet shop online through Etsy where I sell custom pet supplies for all different kinds of pets. Now, although I haven't been on here talking to you guys every week or bi-weekly, giving you guys updates on the pets, I still have been consistently sending out and packing my orders that you guys have been sending in to me, even though I haven't been here. In fact, I think once like I slowed down with the YouTube videos for the past month, my shop ended up blowing up and getting way more orders, which I appreciate. So thank you guys to all of you who have ordered and consistently order from me. If you're a repeating buyer, I really appreciate your service. Is that, how do I say service? I really appreciate your support in my endeavors because this is something I really like to do, and I was obviously still consistent with this while I was gone. I was busy, but I didn't put my shop on vacation because, you know, I really like what I do with my shop and where it has come. So that is still going on, and the leashes are really selling out. So that's really good. A lot of you guys like that. That's probably, or that is my #1 selling product. If there's anything else you guys would like to see on my shop, please let me know down below. There is one item that I have been talking about for months now, literally since the beginning of this year. I have it ready. I just have to set up the listing and get it on my shop, which I really hope to do soon. But that will be up hopefully soon. As I mentioned, it's ready and it's ready to go on my shop. So And that is it for today's video, guys. I hope I will see you guys very, very soon. Like I mentioned, I have a pet shop which you can find the link to in the description of all of my videos. You can also follow me on Twitter and Instagram, which are just at Curtis Lasane, just like my channel name, for more pictures, posts, and updates about my pets before they hit my YouTube channel. I have a lot of other pet care, DIY, and how-to videos on my channel regarding pet care and all of the future ones to come. So if you would like, you can subscribe to my channel right on over here, and you can watch my last video, which will be somewhere over here linked in a card. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video, and I hope to see you all in the next one.